Okay, so Shaul spoke to the man in Greek, and he went and spoke to the crowd in the Hebrew, not in the Greek tongue, in the Hebrew tongue. Okay, so my question is, where are those Hebrew letters? Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse, what did you read? Verse 30. Oh, okay, verse, okay. You read 2. Okay, go ahead, read next verse, please.
But he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort.
Mm-hmm.
He that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself. But he that prophesieth edifieth the church.
Okay, stop for a second. Now, so we see that word unknown again. So let's be clear. Only person the tongue is unknown to is the person that don't speak the language. The tongue is known to somebody. So what happened to the apostle? And I don't want to make this a lesson on the day of YAHWAH, what the world calls Pentecost, where they spoke in other tongues. I don't want to make this a lesson about that. But what I want to say is that when the Ruach came on them to speak in a tongue, right, it was unknown to them because he had a purpose for giving them the ability to speak in an unknown tongue to themselves that was known to somebody else, for the purposes of them hearing the wonderful works of Yah. All day long we can find it. All day long. Every time they spoke in the tongue, it was somebody else heard them speaking the wonderful works of Yah in their native tongue. Right? So let's be clear with that and let's go forward. All right, now verse where are you at? Verse 5.
Mm-hmm. I would that ye all spake with tongues, but rather that ye prophesied. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues, except he interpret, that the church may receive edifying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, brethren, if I come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you,
Mm-hmm.
except I shall speak to you either by revelation or by knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
or by prophesying or by doctrine,
Mm-hmm.
and even things without life giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds,
Mm-hmm.
how shall it be known what is pipe or harp?
Mm-hmm.
For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle?
Mm-hmm.
So likewise ye, except ye utter by the tongue words easy to be understood, how shall it be unknown what is spoken? How
Mm-hmm.
shall it be known what is spoken?
Mm-hmm.
For ye shall speak into the air.
Mm-hmm.
There are, it may be, so many kinds of voices in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them is without signification.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, if I know not the meaning of the voice, I shall be unto him that speaketh a barbarian,
Mm-hmm.
and he that speaketh shall be a barbarian unto me.
Mm-hmm.
Even so ye, for as much as ye are zealous of spiritual gifts,
Mm-hmm.
seek that ye may excel to edifying of the church. Wherefore let him that speaketh in an unknown tongue pray that he may interpret.
Mm-hmm.
For if I pray in an unknown tongue, my spirit prayeth, but my understanding is unfruitful.
Mm-hmm.
What is it then? I will pray with the spirit, and I will pray with the understanding also. I will sing with the spirit, and I will sing with the understanding also. Else when thou shalt bless with the spirit, how shall he that occupieth the room of the unlearned say amen at thy giving of thanks, seeing he understandeth not what thou sayest?
Mm-hmm.
For thou verily givest thanks well, but the other is not edified. I thank Yah, I speak with tongues more than ye all. Yet in the church I had rather speak 5 words with my understanding, that by my voice I might teach others also, that 10,000 words in an unknown tongue,
Mm-hmm.
than 10,000 words in an unknown tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Brethren, be not children in understanding, howbeit in malice be ye children, but in understanding be men.
Mm-hmm.
In the law it is written, with men of other tongues and other lips will I speak unto this people, and yet for all that will they not hear me, saith Yah.
Okay. Now, just a little something here. Notice what he said in the law, right? In the law, he said, verse 21, he says, in the law it is written, right? Okay. With men of is italicized, men of, but you can use that, but with other tongues and other lips will I speak unto this people, and yet for all that will they not hear me, says Yah. So in the law, the Most High said that I would speak to them, right? With other lips and other tongues. Now, interesting thing, this, like I said, this is not a lesson on speaking in tongues, but why would Shaul say that immediately after talking about speaking in tongues? Because this coincides with what he says in the law. Let's just do that right quick, okay? Just to confirm what he's saying. YAHWAH, or the King James Bible, book of Isaiah. So we're going to read 9 through 12.
Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear.
Read the next verse, please.
But the word of Yah was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken.
So now Shaul quotes this, and he equivalates here that I will speak to this people, right, with another tongue. Okay, so what's happening here is the Israelites went into captivity into other nations at this particular time in history, and so this was during the feast of YAHWAH, what the world calls Pentecost, when they came back home for the feast, but they were speaking another language. Let me just bring it home. We live in America. We speak English. If we go to Jerusalem for the feast of YAHWAH, or what the world calls Pentecost, we will be in there speaking English. The majority of us wouldn't even have a clue if somebody was speaking to us in Hebrew. The only way we would be able to communicate with somebody that spoke Hebrew is if, number one of two things would have to happen. There would have to be a translator present to translate to us what they're saying, or number two, the Spirit of Yah would have to come upon us or them to enable us to understand what they're saying. Now, I had experience like that in Jerusalem in 2009, where I was looking for the River Jordan, and couldn't find it. And I ran into a native who spoke in an ancient Hebrew language that I didn't understand a word he said. He didn't understand a word I said, but we were able to communicate by the agent of the Ruach, the Spirit of Yah, to be able to understand each other, and I was able to find the River Jordan. That was the Ruach, the Spirit, enabling us to communicate with each other without knowing each other's language. And that's what happened there in the book of Acts, and that's what happened. That's what the Most High is saying in the book of Yoshayahu, that would happen when the people came into the land, that he would speak to them with another tongue. Okay, all right. Now let's go back to 1 Corinthians 14. What verse we leave off at? Okay. All right, go ahead.
Wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not.
Okay.
But prophesying serveth not for them that believe not, but for them which believe.
Mm-hmm.
If therefore the whole church be come together into one place,
Mm-hmm.
and all speak with tongues, and there come in those that are unlearned or unbelievers, will they not say they are mad?
Mm-hmm.
But if all prophesy, and there come in one that believeth not, or one unlearned, he is convinced of all, he is judged of all.
So you see that? So we got some Israelites that are, they believe in doing that. But I mean, it's just madness and confusion. If somebody to come in there and you were doing the vain babblings that we did in Christianity, some people beat up Christianity, but they want to hold on to that. And to confusion, right? Not knowing what you're saying and trusting. And in that text we read, it said that pray that he may interpret. Okay, the praying is not he, the individual, may interpret, because that phrase was added into the text too. Okay, the pray that interpretation come is what you're looking for. Somebody there that knows what you're saying. That's what you're praying for, not praying for your buddy, your ace boon coon, who came with you and said, "This is what this person is saying." That's not interpreting tongues, right? But that's what we come to learn. That's what interpreting tongues is. But no, that's not interpreting tongues. That's you using your own thought process to try to justify what you're doing, so that you could explain to the person, "Oh, they're in the spirit." Okay. But Shaul said, if there's nobody there that's speaking in that language, why are you speaking in that language? You're adding confusion, right? Just a little something on something. Somebody said, "Brother, when you raise the Pentecostal, didn't you do all of that?" That's another lesson, right? We're gonna keep moving. All right.
And thus are the secrets of his heart made manifest, and so falling down on his face, he will worship Yah and report that Yah is in you of a truth. How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you hath a psalm, have a doctrine, have a tongue, have a revelation, have interpretation? Let all things be done unto edifying.
Okay, stop. Now, please don't take this the wrong way, brothers and sisters. This is not a bashing session on Christianity, but this is all I know. Isn't that what you see in most Christian churches? Right? Everybody come in, everybody got a song, everybody got a doctrine, everybody got a tongue, everybody got I got a word for the church. Isn't that what you see? And that's just mad confusion, brothers and sisters. That's what it is. So you got all these waves coming from this direction, coming from that direction. People saying this, people saying that, adding to confusion, and then saying it's the spirit. And you Hebrews don't believe in the spirit because you don't let us come in and bring confusion. You don't believe in the spirit of Yah because you're not going to allow people to come in and bring confusion. Shaul, who many follow, said that is confusion. Would you do me a favor, read that verse one more time?
How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you have a psalm, have a doctrine, have a tongue, have a revelation, have an interpretation? Let all things be done unto edifying. So
when you got all of that coming, it's not edifying. It's adding to confusion. That's what Shaul said. So you want to follow Shaul when it's convenient. But Shaul said right here, he says, let all things be done unto edifying. So when you coming in the temple, right, when you coming in amongst the congregation of the people, and you bringing all of that, you bringing in confusion, you bringing in division, you bringing in all kinds of chaos, right? So he said, let all things be done unto edifying. Let's not bring all of that foolishness in and confusion in. Let's edify the believers. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next verse.
If any man speak in an unknown tongue, let it be by two, or at the most by three, and that by course, and let one interpret.
Mm-hmm.
But if there be no interpreter, let him keep silence in the church, and let him speak to himself and to Yah.
Okay.
Let the prophet speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge.
Okay.
If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace.
Okay. So now, what we trying to point out is that the same thing is applying to prophecy and tongues as what he's going to talk about in the next segment of the women, right? Which is what people use to tell women supposed to be silent in the church. Y'all can't say nothing, right? We're showing you the whole theme of what Shaul is saying, so we can understand or have clarity to know why he said what he said, and see the relationship of what he's saying about women to the relationship of what he said about speaking in tongues and edifying the believers. Okay. So he said, I want to just kind of reiterate this. My Ish already read it, but if any man speak in a tongue that's unknown to him, right? Let's be clear about it. Let it be by 2, or at the most by 3, and that by course, and let one, right, interpret. Okay. Now, if there's 3 people there, let them prophesy by 1, 2, or 3. Notice what he did not say. He did not say those 3 are the ones who are going to be the ones doing the interpreting. Is that what he said? He said let it be by most, he says by 2 or at most 3, and that by course, and let one, meaning one person, interpret. Okay. Now, like I said, that one is not talking about the 3 who are prophets who are speaking in tongues. Let one person, the emphasis is on that one person who knows what they're saying. You don't need a person that, if, say for example, if the Ruach came on me, right, and I spoke in Hebrew in Israel, you don't need another Israelite coming back to interpret to that Hebrew what I said, or to interpret, rather, the person speaking Hebrew to interpret the Hebrew twice. You never see a translator translating something. I was watching Louis Farrakhan. He was in Saudi Arabia, somewhere in Iran, I think it was, and he was speaking in Arabic. He had one translator. He didn't have 3 people coming back and repeating what he said. He had one person translating what he was saying. And that's all he's saying here. Let one person translate, right? What he's saying, right? All right. Let one person interpret or translate, right? Because the word for interpret is the word dirameo, which means to explain thoroughly, by implication, to translate. That's the word in the Greek text, to translate. So he said, let one translate. Let 2 or 3 speak, and let one translate. Let one person translate. One person to translate what that person said. Okay? To confirm that this person is of Yah. Okay, now, but then he said, but, whenever you see that word but, there's always some kicking going on. If there be no interpreter, right, let him do what? Let him. Now notice they didn't say a she. This is talking about the masculine gender. He said, let him keep silence in the church or in the congregation or the assembly or the mikra, as we say in Hebrew. Keep silent in the mikra and let him speak to himself and to Yah.